What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here, you guys, with a new season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Now, the reason why I'm doing New Jersey is because of the fact that nothing else is on, and I didn't want to do Love and Marriage Huntsville, so I was like, you know what? Let's take an old try once again with The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I did try New Jersey during the pandemic, but I had to say no, that it wasn't for me. But like I said, since there's nothing on currently, I'll give New Jersey, you know, the college girl try, right? And we'll see how this season plays out. I'm going to say this before I even delve into the review. The one thing that I want to say to anybody who is an avid watcher of New Jersey, which I've watched Jersey for I watch Jersey, but then there are times where I stop watching Jersey. So I know Jersey like the back of my hand. And the thing that I want to say before I even get into reviewing this season is to the stands. This is to the stands. If anybody finds my videos, the first thing that I have to say is that I am not now, nor have I ever been, a fan of Melissa's, and I am not a fan of Teresa's. So I'm not going to be a part of the stand stuff at all. I am neutral when it comes to this show. If there's anybody on this show that I would say that I liked when she first came on was Margaret. I like Dolores too, but I think Dolores, she tries to be neutral, but I don't always feel like Dolores is neutral when it comes down to the situation. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, live chat. But as I said, going into Jersey, I want this. It's just gonna be peaceful for me. I don't need any of the craziness that comes with New Jersey housewife stands. But so, like I said, for me, I'm neutral, and that's all we're gonna keep. That's how we're gonna keep it. Hey, Greta, how are you doing today? So happy to see you in the live chat. But yeah, New Jersey, we're gonna have fun because I even know that currently that there is some drama going on Twitter with this one Twitter page. What is the Twitter page? It is Melissa's oh knows or something like that. Now, mind you, that Twitter account has me blocked because I talked about how insane that person is. Because the thing, and here's my problem when it comes to Jersey. This is why I was kind of nervous about doing Jersey, is because some of the fans, you would think that they know these women personally, and if you don't know Margaret, Melissa, Danielle, Jennifer, Rachel, Jennifer Fessler, Melissa, if you don't know those people personally, don't take anything that is said personally. Because like last season with the reunion, I was on Instagram and somebody was like, "Oh, you must be a Melissa fan," because I was defending because I didn't like how things were looking when it came to Teresa and them last season at their reunion. Teresa was being rude, and you can say whatever you want to say, but they're like, "Oh, you must be a Melissa fan." Absolutely not. I'm not a Melissa fan. But let's go ahead and get into this review, you guys. We're season 14. We're episode 1. This episode is titled "Birthday Bombshell." Now we start the episode up, and we are with Rachel. So Rachel has her family over for dinner, and the one thing that I will say about Jersey is that the families get so heavily involved with the drama with the cast. Because I was listening to Rachel talk to her family about they were having family dinner, right? And I found it quite funny that when she was telling her family about having dinner, having the birthday party, surprise party for Jen Fessler, I found it kind of funny how her family just had this reaction when she said that she reached out to Teresa and Jennifer Aiden. And also, I'm not a fan of Jennifer Aiden by no means as well, right? So that's that. But it was funny when her family had. Now I get it. The family saw these people probably saw the things that were said last season at the reunion about Teresa and more specifically her husband Louis. And I'm gonna say this loud and clear. And if anybody feels a way about it, how I said what I said about Louis, I think Louis is a weirdo. There's something that just when I look at Louis, I get a bad vibe, a bad feeling about that man. Nothing good. I don't get anything good from him, right? And I also will say that Teresa, girl, I don't think. Well, I've always said this about Teresa, that I feel like Teresa is less than smart, and that's just my personal opinion. You can agree or disagree. I don't really care how you feel about that, but I definitely feel like she's less than smart to not have a prenup with this man. Like, and I know that there's some stuff out there currently that they're having money issues. I haven't looked too deep into that, so I don't know the logistics about that. But if you guys know, you can definitely tell me what you know in the comment section, live chat, or you can DM me. Uh, Greta says, yes, Louis is bad news. Like, for, oh my God. Every time I see that man on my television screen, I just get the ick from him. And if you liked, again, if you, again, like I said, this is to anybody who's watching. If you like Teresa, that is fine that you like Teresa. I'm just saying what I see and how I feel. That is it. That is all. So with Rachel, we also found out that her youngest daughter has a, I believe she says she's tongue tied and she's having some speech issues, and I've never heard that before about the tongue tied part. So it was very interesting to hear, right? But like going back to her inviting Teresa and Jennifer to the party, right? We know that this is a cast event, so all of the everybody's gonna be there. What I will say is I don't know what's gonna be worse when it comes to the cast events with this season. I don't know if it's going to be better the fact that Teresa and Melissa are not going to be interacting with each other, or like I don't. It's not. It's there's no win-win when it comes to the Teresa and Melissa saga and their drama, because this season they're not interacting with each other, which is a good thing. But it's I think from what I've heard, the cast is divided, and it's so weird. Another thing that almost is kind of weird to me, and this is from the trailer, when I saw when I saw Jackie showing up to Teresa's place, which I know that in this current time, Jackie, well, I don't know currently because New Jersey is muted on my Twitter timeline, so I don't really know what's going on, but I know that during the course of filming, Teresa and Jackie became cool with each other, but I don't understand how that's like. Jackie, did you literally forget what? Never mind. If you forgot what happened with you and Teresa, then that's between you and Teresa. I don't care. But Jen is talking. The thing with the party is, I get where everybody's coming from. It's not necessarily not wanting to, you don't want to be around Teresa and you don't want to be around Jennifer. But I think when it comes down to Teresa, you really don't want to be around Louis, because Louis is just he like I said, he's no to me, Louis is no good. Again, if anybody feels opposite of that, you feel free to voice your opinions. If you like Louis and Teresa, feel free to voice your opinions. No opinion is nobody is I'm not turning anybody away. Everybody is welcomed. Teresa fans welcome, Melissa fans welcome, Margaret fans, everybody is welcome. I'm just gonna say how I feel. Now, moving over to Melissa. So, oops, man, you guys, I meant to have these people. I have the pictures of the women, and I meant to have them on the screen. My bizzle, but y'all know who Rachel is. Y'all know who. If you've been watching New Jersey since last, if you watched last season, you know who she is. So next up, we got Melissa, and like I said a few minutes ago, when it comes down to Melissa, I'm not a fan of Melissa's either. So I don't want anybody to be like, "Oh, you like Melissa over Teresa? Oh, you like no, 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 no." I don't like Melissa, and I when it comes to Joey, I think Joey is extra, and I think Joey, I think Joey also does stuff for the camera. So let me say that. But this family, I don't know what they need to do. I would say they need to go to therapy, but I don't even know if therapy would help this dysfunction with this group of people, because there's been drama with them, this family on this show since season 2 with that damn christening. So I don't know what would help these people. Actually, I do know what would help these people. Teresa said it last season at the reunion when she said she would never have to see Melissa's face again. But I was like, you not, and that's another issue that I have with Teresa. I'm not even talking. I'm talking about Melissa, but I'm bringing up Teresa. That is another issue I have with Teresa. Right, the fact that when Teresa went to prison, they put this show on pause, and then when she got out, they resumed filming. And I think that that has gone to. I feel like Teresa with Nene and with Vicky from OC. I think Teresa's head has started to. I think Teresa's head has gotten so big that she, the fans say that this is her show, and I think Teresa's head has gotten so big to the point that she thinks that this is literally her show. But let's be real, everybody on this show is replaceable. They can, just like they've replaced Nene Leakes on Atlanta Housewives, the same way they've done with Vicky. They can do the same thing with Teresa. I just want people to know that, and I want her to know that as well. But Anton, Melissa's in her new home. That is a beautiful house, by the way. The decor of the house was beautiful. Somebody answer me this question: does Melissa still have that store that she had a few Envy? Because I don't remember anything about Envy in the last. I can't remember if she still has that store. I can't remember if people ever shopped at that store. But Antonia is getting ready to go to college. So we see Melissa and Antonia. She's telling her to pick out some things that she's going to take with her. Now, when I was looking at her youngest son, Joey, with the I was looking at him. I was like, wait a minute, is that a real tattoo on his arm? Have I missed something? Let me know in the comments section and in the live chat. Did I miss something? Because my God, the boy is 13, but at 13, I couldn't even utter the word tattoo to my mama. At 13, I had to beg her to get my ears pierced. But hey, this is a different generation and these are different parents. So these parents are not my mama. So it is what it is, right? So Melissa is talking to Joey about the party that they're going to be having for Jen Fessler, right? And she's telling him that everyone's going to be there. And they're talking about how, she's talking about interacting with Teresa. And Joey is like, he really doesn't care. And here's my stance when it comes to Joey and Teresa, right? Just because you're family doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything that your family do. If and this goes for, and I want to say this loud and I want to say this clearly before anybody misconstrues what I say. This goes for Joey and for Teresa. When it comes to family, you can set boundaries with your family, right? And if your family crosses those boundaries, this goes for both Joey and Teresa. If your family crosses them boundaries that you say you set with them, then cut them off. Don't have any communication with them. I'm okay with that because I have family members in my life that I don't necessarily 100% talk. I don't talk to at all. I don't interact with because they have crossed some of my boundaries. So I'm not upset with the fact that Joey doesn't want to have a conversation with his sister. The only thing that I look at when it comes to Joey and Therese is like y'all are the only two. Like there's no other siblings but you two, and both of your parents are deceased. And it's like, my God, I don't, I don't know if I could do that, especially with my parents being deceased. I would probably want to find some kind of resolution with this. But like I said, there has been so much stuff with these people since since the christening, then with Teresa going to prison, then with their mom passing away, and then not long after that, their father passing away. So Teresa and Joey have definitely been through a lot. But my God, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But like I said, I'm fine with the fact that Joey doesn't want to speak to Teresa, and I'm also fine with the fact that Teresa didn't want to speak to Joey. I don't have an issue with it. I really truly don't. Next up, you guys, let's go on ahead and get over to Margaret. Now, what I will say is I do like Margaret, but I have no problem with calling Margaret out when she's wrong. So I want people to know that real quick as well. Greta says Teresa and Joey's relationship is really tragic. It is. It really is. And like I said, with Teresa and Joey, it's 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 heartbreaking too because like I said, they are their parents' only two children, and both of their parents are no longer here in this world with them. And for like I said, you would want to find some kind of a resolution, but only thing I can do for Teresa and Joey is just basically pray for them because I hope that they find some kind of peace. And I honestly think that if both of them were off this show, I think kind of like how I feel on Beverly Hills When it comes to the Richard sisters, like with Kyle, Kim, and Kathy, I feel like they have issues and they need to go to therapy as well. I think Joey and Teresa would benefit from therapy, but both of them are stubborn and pig-headed, so I don't necessarily see them sitting down for that. So who knows? Now, Margaret. We saw Margaret, and Margaret went over to Jen Fessler's house, right? So it is Jen Fessler's birthday, and Margaret came over with a gift, and it was a heart-shaped dildo or vibrator. That sounds so interesting. Like when you think about it, I'm like, oh, never mind. I'm glad that Margaret got her that because she said when she goes out of town, she uses her toothbrush. I was like, ugh, your toothbrush? Like, what do you do? I'm pretty positive you're not putting the part that you put in your bristle in your mouth. But my God, you are literally putting your okay. I didn't need the visual as well. I really didn't. So we also found out that Margaret's son got engaged, right? So Margaret is in a very weird place after the passing of Jan. My God, I remember when Margaret joined Real Housewives of New Jersey. That was a season when Siggy Flicker was weird ass was still on there, right? And I remember Margaret talking about her relationship with Joe, how she got with him, and the fact that they both she cheated on Jan with Joe, and she fell out with her kids, and I do not blame them kids for falling out with Margaret because that was janky as hell. But I will say one thing about Jan, the fact that Jan still had a relationship with Margaret, it's a testament to who he was as a person. Because if I'm in a relationship with you and you cheat on me, we get divorced, and then you go marry the person that you cheated on me with, there would be no conversations to be had between myself and that person. As much as I like Margaret, I would never speak to Margaret. Margaret's number would be forever blocked in my phone if I were Jan. That's why I say Jan is a better person than me. So I know he upstairs with the good man above because ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell. So Jen Fessler is talking about the fact that Teresa texted her and whatnot. And I saw people on social media last night talking about the fact that if Margaret and Melissa are so bothered by Teresa, why don't they leave the show? Well, let's keep it real with each other. It goes both ways. I know y'all might not want to hear that, but it does go both ways. Margaret might be bothered by Teresa, and Teresa's bothered by both Margaret and Melissa. Like, let's be real. Like, y'all can say what y'all want to say, but it's equal. Like, it's equal on both sides. They go at each other. They bother each other. They're pressed by each other. And again, if you guys disagree, we can respectfully disagree. But those are my personal opinions. So Jen was telling Margaret that she wanted to have a conversation with Teresa, and I was absolutely with Margaret. Like, first of all, please don't have a conversation with her on my behalf. Don't mention me around her. Leave it be. I was with Margaret, especially after what happened at the reunion last season, when everybody on that other side of the couch was literally sitting there saying that that Louis had that private investigator look into their families. Margaret said that they called her son. So I'm on Margaret's side. Like, if you do something to my kids, don't involve me. Don't mention me with that person. That person does not exist to me. That person is deceased. Like, this is also part of the reason why I don't think I could ever do reality television because I just can't be fake and phony. If I feel a way about you, I'm going to let it be known. And so yeah, but I'm with Margaret. Don't mention me around Teresa. If you want to be friends with Teresa, go be friends with Teresa. But please don't mention me to Teresa. Don't mention me to Louis. Don't mention me to any of them in that vicinity. Like, we're good. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm pretty sure people are going to have their opinions, and it's fine. It's fine. I don't have an issue with that. Like I said, I just want us to be respectable. That's all I ask. So next up is Dolores. One thing I will say about Dolores, Dolores looks really good. I know Dolores did I don't think she did Ozempic. I think she did the other, it's not Wegovy, Manjaro or something like that. I believe that's what Dolores did. Dolores looks great. The thing that I will say about those weight loss drugs is take them at your own risk. Consult a doctor, and it's not, you can take those weight loss drugs all you want, but I will say proceed with caution, right? Because I said this before, like we don't know the effects of it. Like there could be a class action lawsuit 15, 20 years from now. Did you take Ozempic during the time of 2020, 2022 to 2020, whatever? Like I feel like at some point we might get to that point with that. And also I want to say it's a lot like people, I realize a lot of people now are doing things as a quick fix, right? But you also have to change your lifestyle. You have to change your eating habits to maintain, right? So I'm gonna get off my soapbox and we're gonna get back to this. So we see as Dolores and Paul are having a double date with Teresa and Louis, right? And like I just feel like one is coming. I know it's gonna be at some point. There's gonna be a class action suit because oh, especially after hearing what Marla had to say about how it was with her. So it's gonna. I'm hoping that it doesn't, but I just feel like at some point there's gonna be a class action suit against that weight loss stuff. So with Teresa and Louis, they Louis brought up he asked what's his name Paul about marrying Dolores, and I was like, ain't Paul still married? And Paul was like, yeah, he's still married. So I was like, well, Paul got to get divorced before he gets married. He even thinks about proposing to. Well, this would be for me. This would be JB, right? Because I was thinking about this, and I was like, could I date somebody that is still technically legally married? And the answer to that question is no. I'm sorry, I couldn't. And it's not even like a moral thing or anything of that nature. It's just for me, I would be like, especially when Dolores said later in the episode that they've been separated for 10 years. And it's like, y'all been separated for 10 years. Then why not get the divorce? So I would rather those papers be filed and stamped and, and notarized by the court. And then we can talk about marriage. But if you still legally married on paper, I personally, for me, don't think that I could date somebody that's married. But Dolores is doing it, and it is what it is. And if Dolores is happy, I'm happy for Dolores, right? Now, we also found out that Louis had sent a text message to John to meet up with him to talk, right? And so we saw the flashback scene, and Teresa asked Louis, did John respond to him? And and Louis said yes, and John did respond to him. He said that they would talk at Jen's party. I don't know if I should talk about that now or if I should wait and give my thoughts and opinions about that. I think we'll wait until we get to the party to discuss that. So Teresa also brought up the fact that before the reunion last year, I guess the other side of the couch met up to basically talk about what was going to happen at the reunion. And they also said that at the reunion, Jen Fessler screamed out that I guess that other side of the couch didn't go according to the plan. And so Teresa feels a way about it. But here's my thing to you, Teresa. Even if they came up with the plan to come after you and Louis, your husband gave them what they needed to come after him at the reunion. So I don't understand what the issue is. Like, I really don't understand what the issue was. Because I remember last season's reunion, I was incredibly annoyed with the reunion, especially when the husbands came out, because it was everybody had something to say about what Louis had done. Uh, Rachel had something to say about what Louis had done, because then wasn't it that they had reached out to John's ex, the mother of his son. Then the whole situation with Dolores and Frank Senior and Frank Junior not working for Louis anymore. Then the situation with Margaret and him reaching out to her, calling her son and all that kind of stuff. So I really didn't understand what Teresa was coming from. And so Dolores in her interview was like, that's something that this group typically does. We get together and we pregame. We talk about what's going to happen. And I do believe that. I do believe that the groups they get together and they watch the season and they like, okay, we're gonna discuss this at the reunion, we're gonna do this at the reunion. I don't really see a big issue with that because and this is my personal opinion, right? This is my opinion. You guys can agree or disagree, but also let's be real. I feel like that last season's reunion, I definitely feel like Teresa did that, and I'm gonna tell you who I think that Teresa did that with: Jennifer Aiden. I really feel like Teresa did that last season with Jennifer Aiden. Again, agree, disagree, it's fine. Let's respectfully do that, right? And the only person that I feel that was left out last season on that other side of the couch was Danielle, because I remember, was it part 2 of last season's reunion when Margaret and Melissa were trying to say that Teresa and Jennifer played her on camera, and then she asked them did they play her on camera, and they didn't really answer that question. I was like, girl, you think they're gonna actually say it right here on camera they played you? But okay, Danielle, it is what it is. But you guys can let me know what you think, what you feel. Like I said, let's be respectful in the comment section and in the live chat, and we will move forward. So we then move back over to the cast party. And like I said, this is a surprise party for Jen Fessler. So this party is being thrown by Rachel and Jen's husband, right? So everyone is showing up. Bill isn't there because he's having surgery. I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself about Bill to myself, but I think I mentioned it once before in a video what I really think about Bill Aiden. Bill doesn't like Jennifer. That's the one thing I can say. I just do not believe that man likes her at all. And do I blame him? Absolutely no. So Bill is not there, and then Louis is not there because Louis has some business to handle in Florida. Okay, Teresa, if you say so, cool. So now before we got there, there was this blind item that came out about John, right? So the blind item is saying that John Fuda, he is a drug dealer and that he likes double-sided dildos. I was like, that's very specific. Very specific. But I don't, and so here's the thing with the blind items, because I always see the blind items every season on social media of every Housewives show. Like they have been saying for the last few years that Candace was fired on the Real Housewives of Potomac, but Candace was never fired. So, okay, take those blind. What I will say is take those blind items with a grain of salt. And that's another problem with, what, I'm gonna leave that alone. Because Teresa, no, I'm not gonna leave it alone. Teresa was screaming at um what oh god Danielle. She was screaming at Danielle at the season 2 reunion. Do not go for her family, but you have no problem talking about other people's. Okay, pot meat kettle hum, right? Again, I'm gonna say this every video. These are my opinions. If you guys disagree, that is fine. I'm cool with that. But these are my opinions. We can respectfully agree or disagree, right? Um, Greta says Bill does not like that lady at all. Very Greta also says very specific, but I do believe the drug dealer rumors. He gave me that energy last season. Um, you know, I, I don't know. I'm gonna keep my opinions. I don't want to put that out there. I don't want to put that out there, right? So we're gonna say allegedly, but those are the rumors that he's a drug dealer. But that double sided dildo was very specific. Like, wow, a double sided. Like, okay, I'm not knocking anybody's yum, right? If you like it, I love it. So, like I said, we get to the part. So at this time, we see that Danielle and Rachel, they're cool with each other. And I didn't understand why they had an issue with each other last season. Anyways, they were newbies, and honestly, I felt like it was the fact that one was cool, got cool with Melissa and Margaret, and the other one got cool when it came to Teresa and Jennifer. So it just kind of felt like they were being pitted against each other. But we do know that this season that I don't think Danielle is well, I know for a fact that she ain't cool with Jennifer because they got into a fight with each other. So I've already talked about the rumors with John. Now, we get to the party, right? Like I said, Louis is not coming. And like I said with Teresa, you did not want Danielle Staub to talk about your family or come for your family, but you are sitting right here in front of Rachel, repeating a rumor about her husband in front of her face. Isn't that something that isn't that what is the word for what is the word? Oh yeah, that's right. Isn't that hypocritical? I'm just asking the question. Isn't that hypocritical? I could be wrong, but I don't think that I am. But okay, cool. Now, at one point, John and Paul were having a conversation, and I understood both sides of the conversation. I got exactly where Paul was coming from to John, that this is not the time, that even if Louis were here, this is not the time or the place to have that conversation with Louis. And I absolutely agree with that. But then I had to put myself in John's shoes and be like, all the stuff that they said about Louis at last season's reunion, would I ever want to sit down and have a conversation solo with Louis? And the answer to that question is hell no. There would never be a point in time where I want to sit down with Louis if I were John Fuda. So I got that. And then Rachel was like, well, John wasn't going to have the conversation in here. He was going to pull Louis to the side. And I was like, do you think that he really would have done that? Because I don't believe that. But if Rachel believed it, then cool. But let me know what you guys think because that is an interesting situation. Like, I get it. I get what Paul is saying, and I get what John is saying. Paul is saying that this is not the time or the place, but I get John saying there is no point that there's nothing for me that wants to sit down one on one with that man and have a conversation with him. So I definitely got it. But things got a little heated between Paul and John, and so Dolores came and got Paul, and they left. Right. Then on the flip side, you got Teresa and Rachel arguing with each other. And I don't even know whose side. Like I said a few minutes ago, I had a problem with Teresa coming at Rachel, talking about and saying to John, double sided dildo. Like, girl, do you know that that's true or not? But I don't know how I feel about that. To be kind of honest with you, because I could see Teresa's point about you know not having a conversation there. But then when she said her husband is a gentleman, I was like, girl, I don't care who tell it. Your husband is nowhere near a gentleman. But okay, if you believe it, then you truly believe that. But I don't believe that your husband is anything less than it. I don't think your husband is a gentleman at all, right? So yeah, I want you guys to tell me in that situation with John, Rachel, and Teresa, whose side are you on? I do wish that, I do wish that John had just kept walking when he walked by Teresa. I wish he had kept walking and not acknowledged Teresa. Rachel, when it comes down to Rachel, huh? I would have just ignored Teresa. I would have did to Teresa what Margaret did. Because when Teresa came in, she spoke to who was Margaret standing by? I forgot who Margaret was standing by. But whoever Margaret was standing by, Teresa came in and spoke to Margaret and whoever it was she was standing by. I don't remember. But Margaret said, hey, walked away and said hi to Jennifer and said that they'll catch up. I wish that Rachel would know something similar to that, like, my husband one doesn't want to have a conversation with your husband, and that's just that. Like, and I would say to Teresa, like, how would you feel if the things that your husband was accused of doing were done? Like, if someone did that to your family, how would you feel? We know how Teresa would feel. Teresa would be flipping tables and flipping Andy over a couch. But that's neither here nor there. One thing before I get off of here, I find it quite fascinating to me that in the Housewives fandom, that people talk about Potomac and Atlanta being and the physical violence, right? But Jersey is just as physical. Jersey is just as physical as Potomac and Atlanta. Jersey has had more fights than Potomac and Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Jersey has, and I mean, there's a fight this season. Jersey is notorious for fighting, but people love to talk about how violent Atlanta and Potomac are. Potomac has had a fight this past season with Candace and with Monique, right? Those are the two physical fights that we've had on Potomac. But like I said, Jersey has had way more fights than Potomac for sure. And even on Atlanta, I mean, the fights were with Portia. But that's all I gotta say, you guys. If you guys watch this episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, please let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Respectfully, I'm gonna repeat that one more time. Let's be respectful when it comes to New Jersey, right? There are gonna be people who like Teresa, there are gonna be people who like Melissa, there are gonna be people who like Margaret. The one thing that I want for this review and for me is just we can be respectful to each other. So if someone says, oh, they feel this way about Teresa, oh, they feel this way about Melissa, oh, they feel this way about whoever, let's just please keep it respectful in the comment section. And that's all I ask. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until next time, please stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I will see you guys in the next video, you guys. Bye. Oh, and so next up will be Summer House Martha's Vineyard, and that is going to be a pre-recorded review. See you guys then.